Welcome to Business Now. I'm Tom Hendrick. As part of our ongoing series on B2B advertising, today we look at how a Georgia-based company created phenomenal brand recognition of 89% in a relatively short period of time. Here's a clue. We're going to duck behind closed doors to discover the strategy behind the campaign and what it has meant for the firm's stock, sales, and brand recognition.
They probably never imagined their company would explode from its humble roots in Columbus, Georgia, to exceed $10 billion in sales. And it would all be driven by the quirky quack of a small white duck. Aflac!
The first strategy of our buy is obviously to sell more insurance. And ultimately, the person that has to make that decision is the person that's sitting in front of the TV.
We basically had zero name recognition, and then went with an advertising campaign in 1990. And we got it up to about 10%, let's say. But we couldn't move it after that. It kind of just was only going to move at 1 or 2% a year. And if you worked 20 years, you couldn't get it but to 50% or so. So I wanted to do something bold that would set us apart. And the only thing I said is it's got to be in good taste. But we're willing to do anything.
So we went to another agency as well as the agency that we had. We asked them to submit a number of ideas to us.
We quickly did some research and we found out there was this Fortune 200 company that they had spent millions of dollars in advertising over the past several years, and yet we hadn't heard of them. And we thought this is a company that needs a big bang approach. And as I gave the project out to our creative teams, and there were many people working on it, nobody could remember what we were pitching. People kept coming to me going, what's the name of that company again that we're pitching? And I'd look it up and I said, it's called aflac, American Family Life Assurance Company. Aflac.
How you'd get them to remember the name. And one day I'm out at lunch and we've been working on this for a number of weeks now, and I'm just coming back with like a corned beef sandwich, and I'm almost back into the office, and I just started saying out loud, Aflac, 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 Aflac. And all of a sudden the sound of Aflac and Aflac, it sounded like a duck. And I said, well, why not? You know, something that maybe they'll remember it that way. And I went back to him and I put down my sandwich and I said, how about a duck? And he said, sounds good to me.
We kind of said that, because how could you not remember that? I think the key to the story is work hard, but take lunch.
Out of those ideas, we tested about half of them, and by far and away, the duck ad concept tested so much better than any of the others.
And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
I'd said all along, whatever tested the highest, we were going to go with. And a lot of people thought you should go with the conservative approach. But we did it. It was the right decision. Our advertising team decided it would be a good move. And so we went with it. And it's the best decision we ever made.
That's why I have that supplemental insurance. What supplemental insurance? Aflac.
The results have been amazing. In about 3 years, Aflac's brand recognition has soared from 8 to 89%. That compares with the most recognized brand in the world, Coca-Cola, which has 95% brand recognition.
We took a look and really weighed the risk, which there was some risk because all of a sudden we're making fun of our name, we're making fun of ourselves a little bit, and that we're not known. We're not known at that time, and it was a real departure. Most financial services ads reflect that most companies take themselves fairly seriously. So we had to think about that. And but we weighed that against the benefits of seeing that if we could double or triple the impact of our commercials, that really had such a huge upside.
With our type of products, we don't think that people naturally are thinking about, I need to buy a cancer policy or I need to buy an accident policy. So it's not front of mind. So if in your advertising you try to explain too much about the product, people are going to think then, well, I understand it, but I don't need it. We'd rather just create the awareness through the advertising and then have our agents go in and really explain the need for the product.
The duck was never intended to sell an insurance product, and he never has sold an insurance product. I'll be the first one to say that. He's opened up a lot of doors for our sales agents, but it's really our field force that's out there talking and knocking on the doors that really contribute to the sales, that really make the sales, that really sit down with the consumers and explain what the products are.
Relax, we got supplemental insurance.
What are you talking about? A good measure of Aflac sales is found not in the U.S. alone. It may come as a big surprise that 70% of its profits come from sales in Japan.
Prior to the duck, we had to first go in and sell American Family Life Assurance Corporation and aflac, and they were not aware of who we were. Since the duck, they have a ball with it. They've embraced us. The door is opened a little wider and a little quicker.
Before the campaign, we were growing at a very commendable rate of 10 to 15%, but since the implementation of the Aflac Duck campaign, our sales have increased at a compound rate of an average of 24% per year.
It's been a challenge, and growth is a good thing, but it definitely stresses the system. We've seen it in our field organization, and we've seen it internally. When you have good people that enjoy what they're doing, they're motivated to try to find solutions when we have challenges with the growth.
Our sales had been growing at the 10 to 15% rate for several years. Things were going very well in the company, and our CEO philosophy is, if you never make a mistake, you're probably not taking enough risk.
The company became the American Family Life Assurance Company after shifting its focus from direct individual sales to a group or cluster sales in 1964. In 1989, it adopted the acronym AFLAC as its logo and trade name. And that signified a refocused commitment to growth, expansion, and customer service.
I just thought the risk-reward was worth it. The risk was just pulling it and losing a few million. The reward was if it hit a home run. But it didn't hit a home run, it hit a grand slam.